Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and get airborne with accelerated retirement. Really fired up. We are opening our slots, our 50. Actually, it's not 50. Like I said, somebody snuck in the other night with the link from the last time. And somebody this morning also upgraded from Options Weapons School. So if you don't know what Options Weapons School is, don't worry about it. That's not what you're here for. But if you are a current Options Weapons School member, remember that's a little less costly and obviously less services. If you're ready to upgrade to full throttle, you need to do that now because we had somebody upgrade this morning. So technically we have 48 full throttle slots, and I'm going to tell you how to get yours in a couple minutes. We're going to talk about WYNN today. We have been absolutely crushing it, trading WYNN resorts for the past, well, actually, we were literally in a Thursday live trade brief when this news broke, and we've been trading it ever since. We've been having a blast trading WYNN. I think we're up to 37.5 in 4 months, $37,500 in covered. Yeah, there it is right there. We've been playing this like crazy. When it broke that the dude was going to resign, bear call spread. Okay, it stopped here, bull put spread. The guy's got to resign. He can't stay here. Let's put on another bull put spread, stock put, or I'll just show you stock pop. So here we were. Breaking news, Steve wins Harvey Weinstein. Oh, crap. It hovered. I said the dude's got to resign, and it's going to be soon. We put on a bull put spread. We've been trading this thing. A little bit of a short squeeze here, and then we've been doing iron condors ever since as this thing has stayed range bound. $37,500. This is just in one name, folks. This is in WYNN. This isn't in like our Visa and some of the other stuff we have in our accelerated retirement session, which we're going to do right now. Ron, I think you're in here. Ron, yesterday, this was a great testimonial I wanted to share with you folks, especially some of you who say, hey, man, I don't have a big account. Folks, we have 2 billionaires here at Top Gun Options. Yes, they have people who manage their money and a bunch of other stuff, but they got their own little they take their own little F-18 out and fly it around. And we have folks like Ron, who started with $6,000. His account is now at 175 grand since 2001. That's some pretty cool stuff right there, man. This is I'm very, 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 very happy, and congratulations, Ron. That's awesome since 2011. So welcome aboard, folks. We are in AR, Accelerated Retirement, and this is halftime. We are literally halfway through our full throttle week. We opened the doors and we invited you in here to hang out with current squadron mates. Usually in this session, Accelerated Retirement, we are in go-to training. This is GoToWebinar. In go-to-training, everybody can see each other's chat because we have about 182 Accelerated Retirement members, under 200 people. We can use go-to-training. You guys all chat back and forth, and it's a nice squadron-like atmosphere. Since we're going to have maybe 1,000 people in here today, there's no way we can be in there. It would turn you away. It wouldn't let you in. So this is why we're in GoToWebinar for my normal members. Hopefully you did all this stuff already. If you've been watching all along, you've already done this stuff. If not, that's the replay page right there. go.topgunoptions.com/FT replay. And let me just show you that page and also that link. There it is right here. I'll put it in the chat box just in case you need it. Can you guys hear me? This is GoToWebinar, folks. This ain't me. My microphone's fine and everything's working. So let's just press through with this. This was doing this yesterday. Here's the replay page where you can get all the replays, obviously. And if you're a current member, do me a favor. Since we're going to be talking about WYNN and Visa today, I need you to do me a favor and write down how you've been doing with WYNN and how you've been doing with Visa so I can share it with some of our potential new members. Because I'm telling you right now, guys, by Friday afternoon, when we do our weekly options live trade brief, that will be our last free session and we're going to be getting airborne without you unless you get your slot starting today. So do me a favor, current members, write down your win percent return, dollar return, and when you entered it, okay? Because I want to share your testimonials. I don't want to sit here and blow sunshine. I prefer if you guys blow sunshine. And like I said, last week I had a losing Amazon weekly options trade, but this week our Amazon trade is actually looking pretty good. So is the trade from yesterday. Amazon was flat a little today. Who was it? Somebody came out, Bernie Sanders, and hit him with both barrels. And not sure what that was about, but Amazon's up $3, which is, they can find that in their couch essentially with Amazon. So that's not a massive rally, but still that's looking better than nothing. Okay, now here's what we're going to do. And actually this slide is wrong. This is 48 because an options weapon school upgrade counts as one of our slots. Okay, so if you're an options weapon school and you want to upgrade into full throttle, you need to give us a call. So right now we have 48 slots remaining. Okay. Stop with the line down thing. Thank you. Okay. So we have 48 slots remaining. And here's where you need to go. So this is going to be the page you need to go. Go.topgunoptions.com/getft. And if you can't remember that URL, you probably can't be an options trader or don't sign up. It means get full throttle. And I'm going to show you the page here in a couple minutes with the different options on there for you. Let me just do a little death by PowerPoint slide. Like I said, we've had 2 people already sneak in, and if you're not cheating, you're not trying. My hat is off to you. Hopefully by this time in the week, we did our welcome aboard brief Monday night, our primary live trade brief yesterday, and today we're doing accelerated retirement. Hopefully by now, like I said, Monday night, by Friday, I want you to believe, like I do, that trading is a form of combat. What are the similarities, folks? Well, guess what? In trading, you use physical capital, your hard-earned dollars, man, pennies, dollars, whatever. In combat, what do we use, man? Human capital. It doesn't get any pricier than that. In combat, just like in trading, you need intense planning and intel gathering. I'm going to teach you how to plan and how to gather your intel to trade successfully. Solid tactics that support a strategy. There ain't no such thing as an options strategy. It's a stupid statement. I love an iron condor. It's a great strategy. Then you're an idiot. It's a tactic. A financial strategy would be me saving for Matthew going to Norwich University, retiring in 6 months, buying a boat and parking it down here on the Fort Lauderdale River. Those are strategies. The tactics, like we're going to trade today, support that strategy. In combat, just like in trading, what do you have to do? Manage risk. You can't make money if you're losing money. Hell, you can't win in combat if you're getting your ass kicked. So we got to manage risk. We have to contingency plan. We have to sit here and ask, if we put on a win trade today, what if the Chinese say, you know what, this trade war is over with. We're closing every WYNN and MGM casino in Macau. We have to sit there and ask, what could go wrong during the life of this trade that we can talk about now, right? The time for me to figure out what I'm going to do if I get shot at by a missile over Syria ain't when that missile is flying in formation on me, folks. I already sat in the ready room, in the air conditioning, sipping on my Diet Coke going, if I see a missile coming up at me, here's what I'm going to do. So we have to contingency plan in trading and in combat. And at the end of the day, folks, guess what? Somebody's going to get their ass kicked in a trade and somebody's going to win. Which one of those do you want to be? And as of yesterday's close, 81% of the time, we are on the right side of that trade, and that is a hell of a winning ratio. Okay? So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to open the door to our potential new members. And folks, I'm only one person saying sound issues. You guys can see all of this. Tom, you can see them coming at you. Back in the old days, they looked like telephone poles, man, with smoke coming out of the back. So this is called Full Throttle. This options training program came from you. What do you mean? Back in the day, it was like one size fits all. I don't know what an option is. I know I've been trading options for 20 years. That's stupid to put you guys in the same type of class or track or classification. Does that make sense? Is that, yeah, so we developed a track system. If you're an aggressive trader, you know what? I do want to trade weekly options, Wiz. I love that Amazon trade. I'm risking $5,000 to maybe make 2,200 bucks by Friday. Done. I got that track for you. That sounds a little creepy, man. I'm not ready for weekly options yet. I kind of like this accelerated retirement type of stuff that you're doing today. Guess what? We have a track for you. And finally, you already doing the math? What if you want to do everything we do here at Top Gun Options? And this is why I'm telling my Options Weapon School folks to call and upgrade. Call Susie and say, hey, man, I want to jump out of Options Weapon School up into Full Throttle. Because the Full Throttle maximum package, which I'm going to show you, is what you want to be in. 80% of our folks are in that. So here's what I do throughout the week. Every Monday at 1 o'clock, we do a weekly Options Live trade brief. Tuesday, you were in it yesterday, the primary live trade brief. We covered Amazon. We took a look at Raytheon. We took a look at a lot of stuff. And notice if you're a skier, these symbols should look familiar, right? It's not that weekly options are advanced like a double black diamond. It's just that they're quicker, right? Okay, I put it on Monday, Wiz, and we could close it Monday afternoon. We could close it Thursday, Friday. It's not that it's more advanced. It's just the time. So accelerated retirement, as we're going to look at today, yeah, we trade the front months, but we also have trades on all the way out to January of 2020. We're long-term bullish on CSX, JP Morgan, Raytheon, WYNN, all the way out in time. And then we also trade what we call the front months. You're sitting in the front month, May, June, July. And finally, the last thing that we do, so Monday through Friday, every day at 1 o'clock, we do a different type of portfolio, different live trade briefs. Tomorrow, I'm going to do an analyze your trade and debrief a lot of different positions, right? Is that cool? Absolutely. So this is just a visual of what's going on. And remember, folks, whenever I'm placing a trade, it's based on a model portfolio of 100 grand. And my SOP says I don't want to risk more than 5% on any one trade. That's just me, guys. I've been doing this for over a quarter of a century. When I first started doing this, I didn't have a SOP, a standard operating procedure. But after I flew this thing for a while, I'm like, why am I not trading like I am flying and fighting? I have an SOP. I know when to eject. I know how to be disciplined. That's when I popped up on the radar of one of the largest options firms in the world. And they said, dude, come do what you do for us. That's pretty damn cool. So now it's time for you to choose. Which track do you want? And this really, I got to be honest with you, folks. I do go play Secret Shopper at other places. I'm not an idiot. I'm Steve Smith in somebody else's webinar, and just about all of it sucks. So this is going to be an offer you can't refuse. So the offensive track is everything we do here at Top Gun Options and weekly options. See, it's down there at the bottom. I'll show you on the page here. It's a little clearer on the page. And again, so this is kind of you. You're trading weekly options and you do everything you hear. You just don't get accelerated retirement. The defensive track, instead of trading those weekly options, you get what we're going to do in about 15 minutes, the accelerated retirement brief. Okay? I have to change my alias now. What's that, Karen? What would it be? So the defensive track, you're this E2 Hawkeye. You got your radar up on top. You're looking out further in distance and time. You're a little bit more conservative, right? And then here you go. The final package is Max Afterburner. It's everything we do here at Top Gun Options, and it's pretty damn cool. 82% of our current members are in the Full Throttle Max package, and that's what I would strongly recommend. Chris, I think you were in here yesterday, and I actually brought this slide up early. Hey, Wiz, I work during some of those times. 80% of you guys work. You don't have to be here live. As you've seen, I record everything. After, it takes about 20 minutes for the video to render from GoToWebinar. I usually run downstairs and jump on the treadmill and watch Comedy Central, and 20 minutes later, it's done rendering. I send it out. But you saw during this week, yesterday, I sent out what? A text alert. Hey, man, I'm firing this trade, or I'm adjusting this trade, or I'm closing it for a profit, or blah, blah, blah. So you could be sitting there in death by meeting. Folks, I can run Top Gun Options from here. I could be in the middle of the Amazon, as long as there's internet. I can send out trade alerts. I got my E-Trade and my TradeStation platform on here. So if I can do it, you can do it, folks. It ain't rocket surgery, right? So Everything's sent out via text and email. So this is really, really, really cool. So you guys can do, kids go to bed, you can watch the replays. And like I told you yesterday, look at this guy's, Chris. I'm going to read it. Chris, I'm so geeked. Been a subscriber for almost 3 years now, and this is the first time I've been able to attend live. I only know you from the replays. So, Abdullah, absolutely. We, as of yesterday, we haven't gotten anybody more. We have 38 countries. We had 37, and we got a guy from UAE is a subscriber. We have 38 countries with members. We got Graham down in Australia. We have a lot of Canadians. We got the UK. There's China, Hong Kong. I got buddies in Afghanistan. So yes, we do international text alerts. Absolutely. So that's a yeah, and we have a ton in the UK there, Abdullah. We have a lot of Brits. Absolutely. Yep. You're also going to get access to our 8 training sessions. So every Tuesday and Thursday night for the next couple weeks, we're probably, I got to look at my calendar. I don't know if we're starting these 8 sessions next week or the week after. Tuesday, Thursday night from about 7 to whenever I get done talking, I'm going to take an in-depth dive into this is a call, this is a put, all the way up to this is an iron condor. We take a building block approach. I literally, when I started flight school, folks, there was one dude who had never even seen an airplane, and one guy who had 6,000 hours as a civilian flying Learjets. They all started in the same place. Okay. Ryu, absolutely. When you become a full throttle member, not only do you get access to the last 8 years, I don't think we go back that far. I think like the last year of full throttle sessions are archived and you get access to. But once you sign up, if I do a full throttle in September, October of this year, you guys it's free. I charge $495, folks, for people who aren't TGO members. This is $495 right here on its own. You get that for the rest of the time you're at Top Gun Options. As long as you're a good member, paying member, you get these over and over and over again. Remember, Full Throttle is a membership. It's an annual membership. These 8 sessions are just the 8 sessions, okay? And I'll show you the page here in a couple minutes, and it'll clear any confusion up. And obviously, you get all you need your aerodynamics manuals, folks, your meteorology, all your stuff. You're going to get access. These are yours to keep no matter what, man. You guys go on your way, and you get access to all that stuff. Okay, enough squawking. Let's get airborne. I will show you the page where you can grab your slot. I will tell you, this is in 8 years, this has always happened. By Friday, we are full. Sometimes there was a year and a half ago, there was a full throttle where we were full by tonight. We got rid of all 50 slots by tonight. I will tell you, I'd love for that to happen again. Even if that happens, I still will do tomorrow and Friday's free session. I'd love for everybody to sign up by tonight. Some people have to talk to their significant other, whatever. But by Friday, we've never not gone and hit all 50 by Friday. They're usually phenomenal. So, okay, so you ready? Let's go take a look at the page here, and I'll walk you through it. And like I said, once we get 50, folks, we're done. The guy, his name's Phil. I looked in my customer tracking system. Phil bought a Full Throttle Annual Max Monday night because I think he was like, wanted to get in the last one. And when we get 50, guys, we're done. You can't call customer support and be like, come on, open one up for me. We do not. I don't do that. It's a shit show in the chat box, folks. I can't stand being an instructor in a room full of like 1,000 people because I can't answer all of the questions. You will learn that you don't leave one of my sessions with anything unknown. So here you go. So the annual memberships are on here. So let's just go from the top here. Let me just follow the bouncing ball here. So when you do an annual membership, you get access to those 8 training sessions. You obviously get your manuals. You get the PLTB that we did yesterday, the urgent alerts, and the analyze your trade I'm doing tomorrow. So all of these, all 3 of these, defensive, offensive, and max, get all this stuff. The only difference between the tracks is this. Just think of the word defensive like I'm conservative. This one, you get the accelerated retirement in addition to all this. Offensive, just think of the word offensive. Okay, man, I'm going to go out there and dogfight the shit out of this market and trade weekly options. That's this track. So you get everything here, and weekly options. Finally, it ain't rocket surgery, folks. This is what? Max Afterburner. You get accelerated retirement, which you're in right now, and you get weekly options, which we're going to do on Friday. So you get all this stuff and this. That should be blindingly clear. It ain't that hard to understand, but everything is on this page. I'm not going to sit here and go through every word on here, but it tells you. Look down here. It breaks down. Here's what you get in the offensive track. Here's what you get in the defensive track. And obviously, Max is both of them. Here's the training schedule. Okay? So for those of you sitting there yesterday going, dude, I don't even know what a call is. Well, in session 2, you and I are going to spend an hour and a half together live with a glass of Pinot Noir on a Tuesday night, and we're going to sit here and talk about calls and puts, baby. What about, I don't even know what the hell an iron condor is. Well, by session 8, you see, this is a building block approach, folks. My first session, I'm going to teach you where I do all my intel gathering. Wall Street Journal, Zero Hedge, FinViz. Session 1, where do I gather my intel? Then we get into, this is a call, this is a put. What does short mean? What does long mean? This is a building block approach, folks. I did not go to Pensacola Naval Air Station in Florida here, and the first day of flight school, they're like, there's your Hornet, there's your Iron Condor, there's your F-18. Dude, you got to learn meteorology, you got to learn aerodynamics, you got to learn navigation, and I'm going to take a building block approach. So like I said yesterday, with that bull put spread, if I scraped anybody off into the wall, and you're like, crap, he lost me. You're found. This is your home, okay? So everything is on this page. What you get, there's your workbooks. So this is where you need to go. Just click on this is one image up at top. So defensive, offensive, or Mac. Just click on that image, and it's going to take you, obviously. This is where 80% of our members go, the full throttle annual Max. Can you upgrade? Wiz, I'm going to go defensive. Can I upgrade? Give us a call in 3 months. You know what, Wiz? Now I'm ready to trade weekly options, or now I'm ready to upgrade into this. Like I said, we already had an upgrade today. So there are 48 slots. There are not 50. So we're already down 2, and I didn't even give you the page yet. So here's the page. And if you want to get started and start filling that stuff out, that would be great. Because like I said, once we get our 50, we're done. We get airborne and we close the doors. And it's funny because we do. I love when members become members and they're like, dude, you weren't kidding. I've been trying to get in for 3 months. I'm like, that's one thing you're going to learn about me, guys, is there ain't no bullshit. You lie. First of all, I was raised by my parents, open and honest, but in a fighter squadron, folks. You do any sandbagging or any fibbing, I wouldn't have been flying the F-18 for 15 years. Okay, my honor, my integrity, my name, I came into this world with, and I'm going to leave with it. Tiffany, that's not what I do. I absolutely, these are blasted not through E-Trade. I strongly recommend that if you are new, you absolutely paper trade. You have got to find it. I used this analogy yesterday, guys. You're going to go through aerodynamic training right here, then navigation, then meteorology. You don't run out to the Hornet and start flying a combat mission, folks. You have got to go to the simulator building. I spent hundreds of hours in the simulator building before I got near a $60 million Hornet. So, Tiffany, it's a great question. You absolutely should be paper trading, period. Do not put any penny, not one red cent at risk until you are comfortable and until you've talked to an RIA, broker-dealer, any of those guys smarter than me. So you don't open up until people leave. Thomas, that's what I do. That's why we only do this every couple months. The only time we do a full throttle or an options weapon school is when we have atrophy, right? Here, and this is if you're a businessman or woman, listen to how crappy I am as a businessman or woman. I don't want you here forever. And I want that to sink in. I have people, the Fish, Tamara, we've had people here for 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Not because they didn't learn anything. They stay for the camaraderie. They stay for the trades. They stay for, the Boca Traders Conference that's coming up. I'm not even going to pitch this to you. We'll talk about this after you become a member. But we meet in Tahoe. We meet in Miami. Now we're going to meet in Boca. We're a family. But here's my point. You don't go to Top Gun forever. Where's Shrek? One of my members, his call sign is Shrek. He and I went through Top Gun together. He's a Marine. You go to Top Gun for whatever it is now, like 6 months. You put that if you graduate, you put that patch on your shoulder and you go back to your squadron, and you just came from the mountain, man. You're full of knowledge, and you pass it on to other people. So my biggest metric of success is after a year, 2 years, you send me an email and says, hey, Wiz, you can cancel my membership, man. I'm good. I got it. Dude, that's a shitty business model. No, it's not. I think we have about 27 members who came from other members. Fish has brought in a couple members. Brian's brought in some members. You guys are my best. You not staying here forever, while not a great business plan, means what? That you go out and spread the word. Does that make sense? Here's Shrek. So, Tamara, we stay because we love your rants. A lot of people, I do get that too. I get Wiz, I get my news from you, and that's the only place I get my news. So as Shrek will attest, your career isn't at Top Gun. You go, you get your patch, and you go be smart to other people. So that's my metric of success. Don't get me wrong, because I love, usually around now my Skype rings from my marketing folks going, will you shut up? I get it. You know, as a good businessman, I would love for you to be here for the next 50 years. But, you know, and we do. We have a good time. So, all right, guys, I got to get going, and we got to get trading. But I had to open the slots here. So. Well, Wiz, what we will never get is your net. Well, Werner, I get that. One of the things that is priceless, Werner, is my network of connections. I can pick up the phone and talk to dudes in London, New York, Chicago, and get some intel. I can talk to dudes in a big building up in the north with 5 sides about what's going on in the world. So this is pretty cool. Kent, upon membership, can you describe the weekly activity as to whether the session is only once a week? So this is it right here. Let me show you this little slide again. Here's your weekly flight schedule, man. Let me put this up for you guys. This is what we do each week. And the sessions run, the weekly options brief on Mondays is quick. It's about a half an hour. It's weekly options. We need to get a damn trade on. Sometimes I'll send you the trade before we even do the brief. And then the brief is even quicker. It's like 20 minutes. The primary live trade brief is about an hour and a half. AR. And this is what's funny, folks. I got to be honest with you. I have a lot of good buddies who run similar type of companies. They're in there like 8 hours a day. You do not need, this is the trades we do. This ain't a full-time job. Somebody sent me an email through customer support. I'm like, we do on average about, in each one of these sessions is maybe a trade. Sometimes weekly options, we sit on our hands. It's just, you know what? It's a crazy week. I ain't feeling it. No weekly options trade, but 1, 2, maybe 3 trades in here. I'd say it's a couple hours a week max of effort. So it's nothing. These people that have these 8-hour-long trading rooms, I'm like, they work for a living. What are you doing, man? Give them a brief. These aren't called longs. You're not in the accelerated retirement long. You're in the accelerated retirement brief. Again, I don't name competitors by name or slam them, but I go look at other people. I'm like, I would rather get my teeth drilled than sit here. Fish, I will be with you, but for another 50 years. God bless, man. I appreciate Deborah, good one. It's the truth. When I teach people how to give business presentations, I say, hey, man, this is called a brief. This ain't called a long, and you're turning it into a long. So here we go. 50 slots are official. No, they're not. That's wrong. Sorry. I updated the one slide and not the other one. We're already down a couple slots. My phone's also buzzing, which means slots are going right now. When we get 50, we're done, guys. And if you didn't get yours, we'll see you on the next launch. Who's this? Phoenix, Arizona. Ryu, if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, my brother, I'll do 50 push-ups. RYU. RYU from Phoenix, Arizona is an annual offensive subscription. Welcome aboard, my friend. So as my phone buzzes throughout the webinar, the slots are going to go. So welcome aboard, Ryu. And again, if I didn't get that right, don't shoot me. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. All right, guys, enough of this marketing crap. I'm not a charity. I need to eat, but I also would rather be trading. Here we go. Yes, I'll put the link up here one more time. It's pretty easy to remember, guys. Go.topgunoptions.com/getft. That means get full throttle. And everything's on here, man. I read it to you. I explained it to you. If you need to take a second and kind of read stuff, go ahead and read it. But as you do, slots are going. How about this shit, man? Before we get into our strategic brief, people almost weekly are writing me like, Wiz, what is going on? I got 2 words, or actually 3 words. Barack Hussein Obama. The reason jets are falling out of the sky, men are dying, the guys that augured in Savannah a couple weeks ago in their C-130, I've lost. Does everybody remember under Barack Hussein Obama the term sequestration? They passed a law that said, hey, if we can't pass a budget, which is our job to do, we're going to pass a law that makes us have cuts. Where did those cuts go? Did anybody see their people giving up their Obama phones? No. The one department that can't bitch, the one department that when you say do this, they salute and say aye, aye, ma'am, or aye, aye, sir, is the Department of Defense. Barack Hussein Obama is the reason these jets are crashing and people are dying. Budget cuts. How about, and anybody know Admiral Swift? He was in my sister squadron. Not so. Not so Swift is retiring. He's the commander-in-chief of the Pacific Fleet. Exactly, Shrek. Remember sequestration? The Blue Angels and the Thunderbirds weren't even allowed to fly. They had no money. So what happened in the Pacific last year? 2 ships went bump in the night, man. 2, destroyers? One hit another ship and one hit another ship. Sailors died, man. You know why? Because when you take a day out of your operational training, you're not talking about navigation, war fighting, dog fighting, killing people. You're talking about transgender integration and which bathroom you can use on this destroyer. That kills people. You don't want to hear it? I'm going to tell it to you. And the admirals really can't say that on TV because then they're not going to be an admiral anymore. The U.S. military, it ain't your petri dish, folks. I'm furious. I buried way too many friends due to this bullshit and budget cuts. There is so much bloat in this country. Don't get me started, man. I sat on hold with the VA for 4 hours yesterday, only to be disconnected. I almost crawled through my computer screen and choked somebody. 8 years of Barack Hussein Obama is killing people in the military. And you can take that to the bank. I really don't care if you disagree. Here we go. Speaking of the military, U.S. retracts, so let's get strategic. U.S. retracts invitation for China to participate in military exercises. Ooh, that ain't necessarily good, folks. This is getting worse and worse and worse. So, Benoit, does this mean we cannot count on your help in case of World War III? Hell, man, we might have a revolutionary war here first in the United States. The deep state, if the George Bush FBI or Department of Justice did one thing that Obama's did, people would be in jail. They'd be being hog marched out by the FBI. It's disgusting. These people have committed treason. They're out on a book tour and they're CNN contributors. If they don't start arresting these people, guys like me you're gonna start hearing from us. Ladies and gentlemen, China under Barack Hussein Obama did what? They expanded their country 600 miles. How do you do that, Wiz? You go out to an atoll in the middle of the Pacific with a lot of Chinese dirt. You build a runway and you put your flag there and you go, I'm China now. So now when our ships sail through the Pacific, they get a warning from these Chinese warships like, warning, you're in Chinese, this is our country. What did we do? We didn't do a fricking thing. Harry, how do we take this back? It'll be a war. So you can thank Obama for another, as he pulled out of the Middle East and created ISIS, he was going to pivot to the Pacific. This was a pivot to the Pacific. Folks, so China not only is getting hot with hot war potential, it's this trade war. Steve Mnuchin and Larry Kudlow did not do a good job the other day. One of the reasons we're about to roll over, folks, and I predicted this last week, was what? I said, we haven't heard one word from Larry Kudlow or Steve Mnuchin. Back here, they were the market whisperers, right? Oh, it'll be okay. The adults will talk to China, and China will wake up. They read the art of the deal, folks, and what's going on? Everything's great. No, it's not. I told you we're going to go back down to the 50 and maybe back down to the 200, and I stick by it, and it is time to get bearish. This is not good. The Chinese ain't no dummies, folks. They read the art of the deal. They have no reason to negotiate. Folks, if you're on the winning end of a negotiation, If you're just sitting there printing money and the other dude says, hey, we need to renegotiate this, you're printing money and you're stepping all over us. How many of you would do that? Zero. I wouldn't. That's why Trump's saying to President Z, I love the way he talks to the dude. Hey, President Z, I don't fault you, man. If you could cheat us for 30, 40, 50 years, that ain't your fault. That's my predecessor's fault. But those days are going to change. But folks, in a trade war versus China, they have the upper hand here, man. They own, ladies and gentlemen, I know we have an FOMC meeting at 2 o'clock, the Fed minutes, but ladies and gentlemen, they own us. The number one foreign holder of our debt is who? China. This is why I called this earlier the other night one of my Captain Kirk trades, right? Everybody write this symbol down. FXI. Foxtrot, whatever. Foxtrot, X-ray, India. The FXI. Folks, they could dump, they can't physically do it, but what if they woke up one day and said, you know what, we want our money back, Mr. President. The number one foreign holder of our debt is China. How can you not be bullish on your banker? So this is one of the reasons I was long the FXI for a while. I'm like, dude, they got us. And I get Trump. He's a New York real estate guy. He's a negotiator. He's going to try and do shit. But God almighty, folks, they already expanded their country 600 miles into the middle of the Pacific. Big red Chinese flag, man. They got hospital ships. That's a refueling ship. They ain't messing around, man. And 8 years of doing nothing has empowered them. North Korea. I don't think the meeting's going to happen. I think it's going to be off. Remember, one of my wizisms that I've taught you already, and you're going to learn as a member, is what? The market only cares when it cares. Right? This implosion right here were based on what? Fears of a trade war. So what happened here and here? Did those fears go away? No, the market just didn't care about it. Now it is. Write that down. You should have a page of wizisms. The market only cares when it cares. And it's about to care. That cream of some young guy or rocket man, little rocket man, whatever you want to call him, ain't going to go to the meeting. And I guarantee you, Trump's been good, folks. What's he been saying? I have respect. I will respectfully walk out of the meeting and all that shit. He's telegraphing with his language to this dude, I'm trying. You don't show up, I'm going to throw one of those fire and fear comments, and I will find you and kill you. I have joint strike fighters flying over your country right now that you can't see that will put a bomb through your head. I guarantee you that's what Trump is saying behind closed doors, right? So I don't think it's going to happen. They might delay the meeting, but here's what I'm getting at. I'm giving you a strategic brief right now, folks. You have to have SA, situational awareness about what's going on outside of, let's trade WYNN. We ain't trading WYNN, folks, until we know what the hell's going on out there that could reach out and touch us. North Korea, China trade war, and China war is getting warmer. How about Mike Pompeo? Hey, Iran, we're not going to give you a new deal, and we're going to come and kill you too. I really don't care what France says. I could give a shit about the UK. I love them. They're our allies. The Iranians don't chant death to France and stomp on the French flag every day. They chant death to America and death to Israel, and they wipe their ass with our flags. So I could care what Macron thinks we should do with the Iran deal. This is about us. This is a regime that says, oh, when we get nukes, we're going to kill you. Oh, and you can forget Israel. We're going to wipe them off the face of the earth. This is another hot deal, and this is another reason. I think the XLE's kind of cooled off a little bit, but about 4 weeks ago, I said, buy some disaster XLE calls. Right there, I said, how many of you are still in the XLE calls? I think I said to bail out of them last week as we flattened out. They were up, 300, 400%? I said, holy crap. As soon as Trump said I'm getting out of the Iran deal, what did I do? I said, get long some XLE calls. How many of you are in it? Marilyn, Tim, Nelson, Harry. I'd probably get out of those guys. I took profits on those. I think it was like a 350% gain. JW, Thomas, Mark. Guys, I think crude's going to take a little bit of a break. We'll talk about this in a couple minutes, but I think we got as much out of the XLE right now as we might. I think we're going to get a little profit taking crude. All right, let's move. Um, the EWZ, maybe I'm going to cover this tomorrow because we have too much to do today. Emerging markets are being hit not pretty hard, but hard enough with the rising dollar. Let's take a look at Brazil, the EWZ. I think it's down about 1%. Yeah, percent today, 1.5%. Not a super bullish chart. But as an options trader, a guy like me, when I look at a chart like this, I can still be making money on this. I can be bullish, folks, on Brazil out to January of 2020. Here's what's cool about the tactic. I'm going to teach you this tactic tonight. We're going to do a long call diagonal tonight. Wiz, I think 2 years from now, Brazil fixes their economy. The real is strong. They're holding their politics. Unlike us, I love Brazil. They threw their former president in jail. They might throw the last president in jail, and the current president is under investigation. God bless Brazil. Us, Jim Comey is on a book tour. Clapper, who started this whole thing, who should be charged with treason and in handcuffs right now, is on CNN. But I digress. So you can be bullish all the way out to January of 2020 and be front month bearish or neutral. So I'm not worried about the EWZ long term. As a matter of fact, tonight, I think we're going to do Raytheon, but the process I'm going to teach you tonight in your sample training. So tonight, I'm going to pick like the middle of our 8 training sessions and do that type of tactic. What's good is when I teach you tonight how to do a long call diagonal, I called it an LCD, right? Long call diagonal. It's like a checklist for a pilot, folks. Step 1, do this. Step 2, do that. So when I teach you how to do a long call diagonal, you can do it with any symbol you like. Wiz, I think you're wrong about Tesla. I think Elon Musk is a great CEO and it's a quadrillion-dollar company. Great, do a long call diagonal on Tesla. Well, Wiz, I love faith. So do a long call diagonal on faith. I'm going to teach you the process to do a long call diagonal, and you can go do it with whatever you like. I'm going to tell you what I like as far as long call diagonals: our CSX, our WYNN, our Visa, our JP Morgan, Amazon. Greg told us yesterday about his Amazon crushings. It is awesome. Thomas, I said that last week. I said, I am taking profits on XLE. I said, get out of the XLE. Okay. Where was I? Oh, I was ranting about emerging markets. Remember, folks, every dog has its day. Emerging markets are hot. Now they're cold. Are they going to be cold forever? No, they're not. They're going to come back. Remember what I say about my term Captain Kirk. These are Captain Kirk trades, right? So we have solid trades. We have transports. We have SIN stocks, entertainment. We have energy with ExxonMobil. We have, at the bottom of that slide, it said what? I'm not going to bring it up. It said Captain Kirk. Carl Icahn, Ken Griffin from Citadel, Stevie Cohen, all these smart dudes and ladies, they didn't get rich by following you or me. They get rich by going around the table and going, hey, what's getting beat up right now that just shouldn't be beat up or won't be beat up forever? Brazil, China, Russia. That's why I call them Captain Kirk trades. You're kind of boldly going where nobody else has gone before. Dan, you're absolutely right. When I'm in a Jan 20 on something like this, EWZ, first of all, I'm trading the front months and making money. But then Dan just said, he's like, dude, I'm going to add to this. Exactly. If you're in a current Jan 20 with this, unless you think, shit, man, this is a slide for life, I'm done, then be done. Not me. When something does a little slide for life in the front month, I add to it. And I'm also making money as it goes down with bear call spreads or selling front month upside calls. Okay? If I lost you with any of that, you're going to learn it in your 8 sessions. I promise you. You will not leave a bear call spread session going, I have no idea what you just said. I stayed in the room with people for an extra 15, 20, 30 minutes just with them. Okay, now you got it. Good. Let's go. So that's the other reason, guys. We only take 50 every once in a while. I can't have a room full of 920 people because guarantee you one of you ain't going to get it no matter what I do. So we can't do that. Okay. Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? China, Russia, China, Iran, and now what do we got here? NAFTA. These NAFTA talks are stalled. Again, when I look at this chart of the S&P 500, this is why I told people who are in the Russell trade, hang out, man. Does this look bullish right now? Let's do a little chartology. You ready? High, 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 high. Is that? And well, let me do the bottom here. Now I get this. This was a descending bearish pennant, and I said, guys, we're either going to pop up or down. I thought we'd go down. We popped up. Why did we pop up? Well, a lot of you already know the answer. Share buybacks, but we also popped up. Why? Because of this. The second quarter has been one of the biggest short squeezes I've seen in my career. Everybody and their mother, including my mother, who was down here for my son's high school graduation this past weekend, thought this thing was going to roll over here. It didn't. Yay! I am telling you right now, folks, I haven't seen this low volume in a market in a couple years. There is no volume holding us on this cliff. What is the good news that's going to take us up and to the right? What is up in this white space? Peace with North Korea. Okay, that could happen. Steve Mnuchin and Larry Kudlow figure out something with China. Okay, that could happen too. Iran says, we love the United States and Israel. We're not going to build any nukes. That will never happen. What I'm telling you, folks, is there's some things that can pull us to the upside here, but I'm feeling this, to be honest with you. And when you got 3,000 hours in the F-18 Hornet, when you got 26 years in the market, you feel this. Stephen, Hillary finally getting arrested. If Hillary was in Brazil, she'd be in jail. I'm ashamed and embarrassed about our legal system. Jim Comey gave a 19-minute speech a year and a half ago about why Hillary Clinton's a felon, and a 2-minute end of the speech why he wasn't going to do anything about it. I fell out of my chair. I remember watching that. Bullish on the financials, guys. What happened yesterday? And I can't stand Barney Frank. He's a disgusting human being. Has nothing to do with him being a homosexual, folks. Even though when he was a congressman, his male lover ran an escort service out of his house. Everybody remember that? You don't know that because the liberals in the media won't tell you. Look up Barney Frank running a brothel in Washington. Anyway, but he's a Democrat, enough said. So Frank, I call it Frank and Dodd. It ain't Dodd-Frank. This thing is Frankenstein. When they laid this on Wall Street, literally at the Chicago trading firm I worked at, we had a whole floor of compliance people. We had to hire like 50 people to read laws and make sure we were in compliance. You know what this? Did the Navy teach you to be bigoted? No, Jackie, I learned that on my own. So Jackie, why don't you take a hike there, because you're obviously not going to become a member. And I'm not a bigot. You have no idea who I am. How dare you talk to me like that? There was one color in the military, and it was red. We all bled red. So let's throw Jackie out of here. But anyway, folks, haven't been called a bigot. That's pretty damn good. But that's also what people do, right? If they have nothing else to say to you, it's, so. Homo so intolerant too. When did I say that? I said it has nothing to do with him being homosexual. I was pointing out the fact that the dude, as a congressman, his male lover was running a brothel. Is that okay with you? Would you like your congressman to be running a prostitution ring as a congressman? All right, Jackie, bye-bye. And you are dismissed. Bye. So anyway, they rolled back this Dodd-Frank rule yesterday, which will be very, very bullish on the financials. Okay? So everybody's saying get lost. He or she's already gone. I don't know if Jackie's a guy or a girl. Don't ever call me a bigot. I've defended this country for 15 years. I will let that go. It's not you, Jackie. It's a different Jackie. One of our members is like, that ain't me. Not your last name. So, folks, stocks are sliding. What? As tensions linger, right? U.S. stocks slide as tensions linger. You can't be bullish, folks. It is. It's legal in Nevada, but it's not in D.C. Good job, Doc. You're right. Technically, you can run a brothel in Las Vegas, but not in Washington. So the 10-year, it was up around 3. It's fallen a little bit. And let's take a look at the VIX. Let's take a look at the volatility index. Let's see what our altimeter is doing. God, day ain't over yet, and I was called a bigot. That's awesome. And that's why I brief people at the beginning of the week. If he or she obviously wasn't here Monday night, I had my little snowflake warning. I said, if you're offended by politics, if I didn't trade my politics, I'd be broke. But let's take a look at the VIX. A little bit of a heartbeat today. Yeah, okay, we're up to 13. And John and Pete and Najarian were just on the halftime show saying, I would be getting long volatility right now. Write this wisdom down. When vol is cheap, you buy it. When it's expensive, what do? You sell it. Okay? When vol is cheap, you buy it. When it's expensive, you sell it. And vol is looking very, very cheap. We might do that tomorrow. We might put on a hedge tomorrow. We need to talk about WYNN and Visa and well, 2 trades today. All right. Anything else I wanted to cover with you guys before we get tactical? I love what's going on with Starbucks. It's the new homeless shelter. I love when corporations get involved in politics and do stupid stuff. What was it? When Trump got elected, the limousine liberal in charge of Starbucks said, we're going to hire 10,000 illegal immigrants, and that'll show Trump. What happened? There was a massive boycott against Starbucks. Guys like me said, why don't you hire 10,000 homeless veterans, you piece of shit, limousine liberal company? You're going to hire 10,000 illegal immigrants, and there's 60,000 homeless vets in this country. Whoops. Then they started running all these pro-military commercials. Shut your suck, guys. You have to be very leery of these companies that get involved in politics. And I'll leave it at that, which is why Zuckerberg and all those guys, exactly, let them pitch tents inside. Okay, now so I'm going to leave you with this. My strategic mindset remains as it does yesterday, but a little bit more, you ready for this? Bearish. I said I'm neutral with a cautiously bearish yesterday. I'm going to say small c, big B, a little cautiously, but definitely leaning more towards the bearish side. And we're going to take a look at a bearish trade on WYNN. And we're going to take a look at some of our wins on WYNN. All right, so Paul, you worked at Raytheon for 20 years? Shit, man, I gotta give you a call. Let's get some intel. I love Raytheon. What a great company and a great stock. All right, so here we go, folks. This is accelerated retirement. Well, all I did was go under the member content page and click on accelerated retirement. Last week we had a WYNN trade close for a max profit there of about $1,300. We also did one last Thursday on WYNN. What was it? A 2-day trade for $2,000. So this one closed for max profit. The other one closed for max profit. I think that's about $6,000 last Friday in WYNN trades. All right, so do me a favor. It could be our weekly trades, Kevin. It's been the gift that keeps on giving. Current members, do me a favor. I asked you at the beginning your win percentage, dollar amount, and the date you initially got into this stuff. If you can, throw those up there so I can show them to potential new members. So we're going to talk about WYNN in a couple minutes. Excuse me. We're also going to talk about Visa. Here's Visa. We closed, what was it, last Wednesday. We closed $3,000 right here. Where is it? No, it was in the last one. We closed 2 Visa bull put spreads for $3,000. Where is it? Oh, right here. It says closing Visa spreads. Maybe if I read the screen whiz, you would know. Here it is, guys. So this is, everybody see this right here? It says 16 May. That was last Wednesday. So this time last Wednesday, I think I was up in Boca. Look at this. We closed 2 Visa pull put spreads. One that was the week before and the one before that. Look at this. 55% and 85%. That's $3,000 in 2 weeks in Visa. So Marcia, WYNN, in for 1 month, 2 contracts, $2,100. Sweet. So again, men lie, numbers don't. So based on this right here, 2 Visa trades, and these are limited risk, guys. Remember, how much did you risk on these? You should be, if you're new, you should be able to answer that. This guy for 2 days in a row has told me he doesn't want to risk more than $5,000 on any one trade. Right? And tonight I'm going to make an exception to that. When I'm doing a longer term trade, like out to Jan 20, I might go a little bit more risk. Why? There's a hell of a lot of time. Plus, we don't do long-term bullish trades on companies that we don't think are going to be around in 2 years. You do long call diagonals on a Raytheon, on a CSX, on a WYNN, on an ExxonMobil. You don't do it on a Tesla or a Twitter, in my opinion. I just don't. I mean, stuff that you don't, that might be in trouble, you don't. So look at this. 2 trades in Visa, in 2 weeks made 33 grand even. Why am I telling you that? Because right here, if you did those 2 Visa trades, you just paid for an annual max slot. And by Friday, hopefully Amazon's still holding where it is. By Friday, the weekly options trade that we have on could potentially pay for your full throttle defensive. Isn't this awesome? I would do that, Brian. I'd look at a long put diagonal on a Tesla or a Twitter. I just don't. I don't know, man. You guys know me. Back in October, I blew my warning whistle about the fangs. And the T silent, right? The T fangs, the Tesla. So yes, so with just 2 trades on Visa, there's your annual max membership. Oops, sorry, let me blow that up. What else do we have to talk about in accelerated retirement? Visa, WYNN. There's another Visa trade, another WYNN. Oh, CSX. We talked about CSX as well. CSX is finally giving up some of that gain. This is why we talked about legging into an iron condor. And if you don't know what an iron condor is, welcome aboard. I'm going to give you an hour-and-a-half lecture on what an iron condor is. So these CSX gains are going awesome. Yes, Frank. So we have Jan 20s on Visa and on WYNN. And when you become a member, you can go to those member pages and watch the replays from when we put those on. Does that make sense? Sweet. Somebody else just got a full throttle max. Who's this? David. David from Indio, California. I used to drive through Indio all the time, man. I was based in Lemoore, California. I used to drive up to Napa. I love Indio. So welcome aboard. So we're down to what, 45 annual slots, guys. And MGM. That's one of our in this portfolio as well. I got to be honest with you. If you're new and you're capital constrained, I would choose WYNN over MGM, and we'll talk about that over when you become a member. We're kind of time limited today. I want to get on. We want to take a look at WYNN here, because this is, like I said, with what I'm going to cover in WYNN, folks, we'll be looking at close to $40,000 in 4 months just in WYNN. That's in profitable trades. That's net profit. I think total. We'll take a look at it. Let me just make sure there's a Raytheon in here. What else? It's mainly been Amazon, Raytheon, WYNN, and some CSX. All right, you know what? So we're good. I think we're. Who's this? Fred Witten. We'll see it, Fred. Anyway, so let's get together with WYNN. So WYNN, what's going on? We've been trading WYNN since this day. Literally, we were in a live trade brief. I'm pretty sure this was a Thursday afternoon. And it's funny, folks, because I got to be honest with you. If I weren't doing this with you, I'd do this by myself, right? I do this because I'm passionate about it. I love how people get pissed off. I got to be honest with you. The customers ain't always right. That checking person called me a bigot. You can kiss my ass. And I don't want. I throw members out, folks. I don't. This is a squadron. As the commanding officer of a squadron, if I got some dude or some lady in my squadron who's a squeaky wheel and a pain in the ass, we throw them out of the squadron. So, Fred, I'll see you. So we've been sitting in a live trade brief, and it was literally breaking news. Steve Wynn might be a pervert. Holy crap. Bear call spread. It stopped for a couple days, and I said, folks, the only way this stock is ever going to recover, the dude's got to, this whole Me Too movement, what happened? I said, he has got to resign, right? Exactly, Shrek. No time to argue, man. Let's just make money, for Christ's sake. It's ridiculous. Go buy a sense of humor, man. Go take your annual membership and go buy a personality. So we put on a bull put spread. 5 days later, Steve Wynn resigns. Stock went up 4%. We made, what was it, like $1,400 in a day. Then what did I do? I sold a bear call spread, right? Bear call spread, bull put spread. Why did I sell a bear call spread? Because that's the only good news that was going to come out in the near future about WYNN. The dude resigning. It was only going to be bad news. I'm not going to go through every individual trade here. What I'm giving you is this mindset behind what we were doing here. Yeah, my phone's buzzing. Usually I jump off these webinars now with the Fed stuff, and I jump on our hedge fund call. But my buddies know I have full throttle this week, so I appreciate it. So we'll go a little longer today because we got to get our WYNN trade on. I'm not going to sit here and tell you every trade we did on WYNN. Let me just say that every one of these moves has been event driven, and WYNN has been range bound. So look at this. What did we topped out here at about $200? We did a 1-day trade on WYNN right back here that made $2,200 in a day. We did it in our Analyze Your Trade session on a Thursday, and then it closed that next day. It was awesome. So, yeah, that's what we figured, Jackie. Right? The Fed Fund futures rate said, hey, we're going to do 25 bips, and the market should get catch a little bit of a bid off that, right? So, Arthur, I saw the threats of a potential strike in Macau. I don't think it's going to happen. China doesn't. Let me just check out Amazon real quick. China doesn't do well with workers striking. So, Harry, WYNN is my top gainer this year. There you go, Harry. Let me know if you got the math, Harry. I want to share that with people. But anyway, let's get into. So here's my strategic mindset with WYNN. I'm actually going to get bearish. First of all, I just told you I'm cautiously neutral to bearish on the overall market here. I like the 200. We've sold the 200, 202 and a half bear call spreads for the past couple months, and it's been cash money. Let's do that again. So break out your checklist there. I'm comfortable going out a couple weeks. So this is Friday. Remember, guys, if you're new to options, I'm going to teach you all this stuff. These options expire Friday. The next Friday, the following Friday. This is the third Friday of June, which is what? The 15th. So this trade is going to expire on June 15th. I'm neutral to bearish on WYNN. I'm going to use calls, and it's going to be a spread. So this tactic, you ready for this, folks, is a bear call spread. Let me just build this real quick. What do we usually do contract-wise? That cracks me up. Oops, half of those. 30 maybe. Let me try 30 of these. I'm just talking through this in my own, and then I'll get with you guys in a second here. Perfect. This is the trade I love. Okay, you ready for this? Let's do step 4 of our trade plan, tactical employment. Okay, here we go. I'm going to sell 30. Why 30, dude? Give me 2 minutes. Of the June 18, why June 18? Well, I don't want to do Friday. I'm comfortable in this market letting my leash out a little bit, right? WYNN does this. Goes up, goes down to the middle of the Keltner channel. Goes up, goes down to the middle of the Keltner channel. Went up, back down to the Keltner channel. I don't think it's going to be above 200, 202 and a half in about 3 weeks. Okay, that couples with my overall mindset of the overall market of what? Rolling over. Okay, so that's why I went out that far. Of the 200 calls, and I just showed you on the chart why I'm selling these 200 calls. When I sell something, guys, remember this. When you sell something, you bring in money. It's called a credit spread. And also, when I sell these 200 calls, that means, hey, WYNN, I don't think you're going to be above 200 by this date. What if you're wrong, Wiz? Steve WYNN, I don't know, all the investigations end next Tuesday and the guy's cleared of everything. That's not going to happen. But, I mean, what if this stock has a rip-your-face-off rally? Well, it's going to suck, but we buy some upside calls as protection. So even if this thing does has a rip-your-face-off rally, our risk is limited. Our risk is known. I'm bearish on WYNN, or at least neutral. I'm using calls, and it's a spread. This tactic is called a bear call spread. It's also called what? I know it can get confusing. Well, what is this? Is this a credit? Just call it this, please. What are you? I'm bearish. I'm using calls. It's a spread. Well, when you look at your damn trade ticket, wait, I'm bringing it. Oh, it's also called a credit spread. Yeah, we're getting paid to do this. And it can also be called what? A vertical spread. So don't worry about the why do they call this 3 names thing. I call it one. I call it what it is. A bear call spread. Let's try and get 70 cents for this, okay? Remember, this is what is called mid-market. If you come in at the bid, I'll pay 46 cents for this. You will be laughed to death. If you come in at 94 cents, you will also be laughed to death by every market maker who's, if they're going to attack you like a piranha to fill, you'll be filled faster than you can click that button. That's stupid. Don't ever come in at the bid or the ask. You should always come in around what? Mid-market. I'm going to teach you all this in the 8 sessions. This is called mid-market. What range would you go with? I'd probably try and get filled on this trade down to 65 cents and maybe up to what? 75 cents, right? About that wide, about 10-cent wide. If it's outside of that, it's either the risk to reward is either too high or to be honest with you, too low for what Wiz likes. And I'm going to teach you all of this. Okay, so let me grab a screenshot of this. Why? Because I put it in the replay. So if you're sitting in there death by meeting, you're going to get it. Well, in accelerated retirement, folks, I don't send out text alerts. Why? Because these trades aren't super timely. They're not like weekly options. Today, I will make an exception and send it out to all the new potential members. So WYNN with the date, WYNN 5/23. So click save. All right, now, yesterday I turned into a Catholic nun, right? And I'm going to do the same thing today. Distracted by meeting is another condition. Exactly, Chris. I know the feeling, my friend. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Where did you look? You looked at Mr. Sad Face here, max potential loss. I'm going to beat this into your head as a TGO member. And even when you leave here, and I get emails from guys that were here day one that years later, like, dude, you taught me well, Grasshopper. Always, always, always look at max risk. This max potential loss is right around my SOP, standard operating procedure. Okay, your SOP, standard operating procedure. Now, this $5,400, folks, is what? It's based on those 30 contracts. Wiz, I can't afford 5, but it's none of my business, folks. But the $5,400 in risk is because of these 30 contracts. You want to risk 10 grand? You trade 60. You want to risk $1 million? Whatever, folks. I'm showing you what Uncle Wiz would potentially do. I'm not telling you what to do. Wiz, I want to risk $1 grand. Okay, maybe, what is that? You trade 7 contracts. I don't know, folks. You scale with what you want to do. Okay, so max potential loss is $5,400. Max potential profit is $2,100. Now we can look at using at the money volatility, and we'll talk volatility in our training sessions. There's a 68% probability of making $2,100 in what's that? In 3 weeks. That ain't too shabby, man. If you annualize that return, that's pretty damn tight. But look at this. There is also Dan's my volume watcher. Since you started this trade, the options volume is up 200 contracts. Look at that. Once again, folks, Top Gun option. You guys are, and especially with, you know what's funny, Dan? Usually just with our members, we move the market. Now that we got about 1,000 people in this room, we're breaking news, TGO, unusual options activity based on Top Gun options. Isn't this awesome? Chris, that is secret sauce, man. Let's take a look at this. So Chris brings up a good question because this is a pretty high probability trade. Okay, so I got to grab a screenshot of this right here. WYNN 5/23 metric. Okay. Yeah, whoever asked that, yes, you can upgrade. Upgrade from options weapon school to full throttle. So they're pretty close, aren't they, Chris? 68% probability of max profit and a 70% probability of break even. Just take a look at the chart, guys. So we make money 3 ways in this trade. Here's the current stock price of WYNN, that blue line. We make money if WYNN goes down, back to the middle of that Keltner channel. We make money if WYNN just sits here, man. It's just WYNN ain't moving, Wiz. It's just kind of, yep. I told you yesterday what? Unched on the day, unchanged on the day equals time decay. It's called theta. It's called time decay. We can even make money in this trade if WYNN goes up. As long, you see that right there? That's the break even. $200.70. And we haven't seen 200 on WYNN in a long time. Can that happen? Yeah. China announces it's buying WYNN resorts, or they rename the company from Steve Wynn's name since he is an alleged molester. There is potential risk in this trade. How much risk, Wiz? There's a 25% probability, a 1 in 4 chance that we wake up tomorrow and WYNN is up 30 points. So there's somebody on the other side of this trade, guys, right? There's somebody sitting here going, Wiz, what are you, stupid? WYNN's going through the roof. But the vast majority of us, 68% of us, say, nah, I'm going to make $2,000 in a couple. This $2,100, folks, potentially could pay for what? With one trade and risk in about $5,400, we could pay for this, a full throttle. What's that? $2,100 would be right there, the annual. Isn't that awesome? Okay. You know what? Since it is full throttle, and let me blast it out first and then I'll come back and talk about theta and time decay. Remember, guys, I do not send out text alerts for accelerated retirement. The trades just aren't super, super timely. It's the only service. All out of the 4 service, only one doesn't get. You get the email. You're going to get the email here in about 20 minutes after I render the video and stuff like that. So the J brothers are going to be talking about TGO big moves. Exactly, Harry. The Nigerians are going to be like, hey, we're seeing unusual options activity in WYNN. And it looks like TGO's doing it. Where are we? So if you gave me your cell phone number, you can see it right here. Promo, full throttle launch registrations. So you're going to get a free text alert from me. What is this? We are in AR, new, WYNN, bear, call, spread. 30 contracts. June 18, expiry. I'm going to sell the 200 calls. And I'm going to buy the 202.5 calls at a 70-cent credit. And tonight we're going to talk probably adjust and eject, but let me just finish here. 70-cent credit. And I said what? Plus or minus about 5 cents, right? I'd go down to 65 cents or maybe up to 75 cents. Anything outside of that, that's a little too expensive or too cheap for my blood. I would potentially, this isn't written in stone, folks, I would potentially adjust this trade if it goes against me at maybe $1.20 and maybe eject, meaning close this trade before it takes that max loss. Folks, I don't want to lose $5,400. What do I look like? Rockefeller? No. Even if I were Rockefeller, $5,400 is a lot. So this is why I have 2 points in any spread. One I call the adjust. Hey man, this trade's going against me. Should I do something to it? This is like a warning light in your cockpit. If this trade, remember, folks, let me blast it out, and then we'll go back and talk about adjust and eject. Okay, give me 1 second. Again, if you gave me your cell phone, and people are typing their cell phone numbers in the chat box, guys, I can't go in there and add your cell phone number right now. If you will get this text alert for free. Fish, your sit reps are free money. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I saw that, Tiffany. Yeah, E-Trade's getting rid of Options House. So let's go over to here. Or actually, you know what? Let's stick here. So real quick, we got about 15 minutes left. I want, folks, if I get filled on this trade at 70 cents, what do I want? I want the damn 70 cents. I sold this car for 70 cents, right? What do you want? I want to walk into the dealership with my 70 cents in my pocket. So we get filled right in the middle here at 70 cents. What if it starts going up in price? That might sound like a good thing, but think of golf, folks. Like, hey, I shot an 8 on this hole. That's bad. You want a 1. You want an eagle. So if this trade starts going up, that means WYNN is doing what? The stock's going up. So I say $1.20. If this trade hits $1.20, I kind of scratch my chin and I go, okay, wait a minute. WYNN's moving against me. Should I adjust this trade? Right? I'll talk about adjustment in a second. But then there's a place in this trade where I'm like, you know what? I don't want to take this 5. I double, listen to me, write this down. And I'll teach you all this stuff, folks. I know I'm giving a little too much away. I simply double the credit that I take in. I eject at $1.40. Meaning if I wake up tomorrow and WYNN's just having this rip your face off rally, let me say might. I might eject. But a good rule of thumb, if you're new to trading spreads, is just double the credit that you took in as a, holy crap, the airplane's on fire. I should most likely get out of this trade. I will tell you 60% of the time, I tend to stay with the airplane that's on fire and try and save it. And it works out for me 60% of the time. But that also means, folks, that 40% of the time I get kicked in the gut, which ain't pleasurable. It's a win rate. It's good, but it ain't pleasant sometimes. Does that make sense? So, Mike, are we staying in the weekly options Amazon trade? Let me wrap up what we're doing here with WYNN, and we can, if I have time left, we'll talk about Amazon. I still think the weekly trade's looking good. So, how could we adjust this trade, Wiz? Well, let's look at the chart. We just put a bear call spread here at 200. Next week, I don't know, good news out of WYNN. They settled a lawsuit or something, and the stock goes up. What could we do? Well, you know what, Wiz? I think we need a little bit more time for this trade to work. I still think it's going to stop. I think it's going to hit. It ain't going to be over. I just need another week. It needs some more time to work. What you could do is it's called rolling the trade out. Maybe we just move this to the next week. Same strikes, but it's called rolling it out. How else could we adjust this trade? Wiz, it's popping a little bit, but I think it might top out right around here and then go down. Maybe we roll the strikes up. Maybe we roll it up to the 202, 205 bear call spread. So that's called rolling up. So we have a couple choices. We could roll the trade out a week. We could roll the strikes up a couple bucks. And then if you're using your thinking brain, you could do both. You could roll the strikes up a couple bucks and out a week or two. This is called an adjustment. Okay, maybe I should adjust this trade. That's why in the text alert you just got, it says maybe at this price, $1.20, we look at doing one of those things. Okay, now that is an hour-and-a-half lecture, adjust and eject, in about 3 minutes. That is completely awful. So you have to become a member, and in an hour and a half, we're going to talk about a bear call spread like I just did, and I'm going to answer all of these questions. Tamara, Amazon is looking great, up $10. Bob, I just closed my Amazon for a 60% profit. Nice job, man. Tiffany, overall trend and WYNN is up. Fair chance hits over 200. I agree with that. Why not go with the trend and do a long call? Tiffany, we did. We do. We have a long call diagonal in WYNN out to Jan 2020. That's one of our, I love out to Jan 2020s. Absolutely. So we are in that. Does everybody, and again, like I just said, that adjust and eject lecture is an hour and a half, and I did it in about 3 minutes. How do you get the 2.5 hour or the hour and a half one? You need to go and get your slot right now. Like I said, I think we're probably down to about 40 just based on how this thing's vibrating and buzzing here. So, yeah, the market's moving up on the Fed. That was kind of a bullish Fed announcement. But remember this, folks, 90% of the time, whether it was Trump, a Fed announcement or something, the market's initial reaction is what? Wrong. So let's see. Benoit, up 180 on Amazon. Before I go, let's take a look at the weekly options trade on Amazon. Let's go to weekly options. And yeah, another annual full throttle max. Sweet. I love it. And guys, like I said, once we get 50, man, we're done. All right, Amazon, here's our weekly options trade. The 1567.5, 1565. Let's see what it's up to. Maybe I do want to close it out. 1567.5 on Amazon. Man, it doesn't even come up here, the 1567.5, 1565. So we got it at what? 70 cents. You ready? Let's do the math. It's at 28 cents right now. Wow, 28. 70, you ready? Here's the math. 70 minus 28 equals times 30 contracts. Wow. So we're up $1,300 in Amazon from Monday. $1,300 in Amazon on Monday. What's the max potential we can get out of this thing if we take it to Friday? $2,100. So, folks, this is what? This trade is up 60%. And again, if you're not a member, you didn't get this trade. I sent this out on Monday, and we started the free stuff Monday night. I'm going to tell you that Uncle Wiz, my SOP says if you're up 60% in 2 days, $1,300. What's the guy saying in the song? Go on, take the money and run. I would close this spread and take my $1,300 and 60% since Monday. Let me get a hell yeah. And men lie, numbers don't, folks. This is the trade from Monday. This is where Amazon is right now. Sweet. That paid for more than half of a Full Throttle defensive subscription. One trade in Amazon, 2 days, guys. This is what we do here, man. I'm having a blast. We have fun here, even though we have some cranky people who I boot out of the squadron. Amazon's getting back on their horse, guys. Look at that. And we put on a bull put spread yesterday in the primary live trade brief. I haven't even looked at that one. That one's obviously doing pretty good too. So the Amazon trade from yesterday is looking great. So, you ready? If you're a member, you're going to get this. If you're not going to get it, but you were here live. All right. Oh, Greg, that sucks. All right, SMS. So, and again, Chris, if you're in death by meeting or whatever, and you put the Amazon trade on Monday, you're about to get this. WO means weekly options. Update, Amazon. Close, weekly bull, put, spread, the 1567, 1567 and a half, 1565 at 28 cent for it's about a $1,300, 60% gain in 2 days. Bam. Like that. Okay. Sweet. Anybody like making $1,300 in 2 days? Unlimited risk. Again, guys, that wasn't risking 10 grand, 20 grand, 100 grand. That was right in line with my SOP of not wanting to risk more. What was it, 5 grand? There you go, $5,400, folks. Again, demo do. I'm demoing, you can be doing. So how do you enter close for the WYNN trade? I'm not sure what you mean, guy. We're opening the WYNN trade. We ain't closing it. This is closing an existing Amazon bull put spread. Don't know what you mean, guy. Let me send this out to people who have SMS issues or are retired and don't have a cell phone. Weekly options, close, Amazon bull put spread. Love taking profits, guys. Go on, take the. Nobody in my entire 49 years on this earth has gone broke taking a profit. If you'd like to sit in that trade by Friday, I think it would make a max profit of $2,100. Me, bird in the hand worth two in the bush, man. That's Uncle Wiz. Okay. Harry, there you go. Harry's like, hey man, I'm up 50%. I'm probably going to hang out a little longer. Mark, great wizism. Start taking profit in trades at 50%. Mark, you're a smart man. You can't go broke taking profits at 50% in every trade. So, Brett, for the WYNN trade, we were looking at regular June expiration. I didn't mean the 22nd. No. You bet, David. Yeah, absolutely. I'll put this up here. Guys, so we are halfway done our Full Throttle week. Okay, tonight at 7, I'm gonna render this replay. I'll send out an email. We're gonna do a Raytheon long call diagonal tonight. This is gonna be a good session tonight. I'm looking forward to it. Steven, of course you can, man. Great. Steven's being a good wingman. You know what you can also do? You could close. We had 30 contracts. What could you do? Well, Wiz, I'm gonna close out 15 of these suckers and let the other 15 ride. Great. Awesome, Stephen. Well done. You're absolutely right. So, yeah, Harry, you can. Harry's like, I'm staying in my airplane, man. It's got a little bit of momentum here, man. It's doing a nice pop. It's up a full %. What did I tell you it was going to do? I told you this yesterday in the primary live trade brief. I said Amazon is getting ready to get back on its horse. So I like it. So awesome. Kevin closed his for 25 cents. Sweet. Good. Okay, guys. let me, I'm going to run because I got to work out. I got to get this replay out. I got to get ready for our session tonight. And then I want to call one of my members here in a little bit. So here you go. go.topgunoptions.com/getft. Hopefully, and I got to be honest with you, going forward, I'm probably going to cut these full throttle weeks in half. Every debrief, my marketing folks are like, dude, you give away way too much. Most places charge you for a week like this. I don't. I'll see you tonight, Mark. So grab your slot, folks, because I think going to, the next full throttle we do, maybe in the fall or something. I'm not doing a full week, man. It gets long with thousands of people and stuff like that. This takes a little bit out of me, and by today. You met me Monday night. You saw me trade live yesterday. You saw me trade live today. I mean, technically, you should know that you want to be on board. And then tonight, you're getting 3 more sessions, which I think is a little mutt. You're welcome, Benoit. Stan, here's the replay page. This replay will be posted on here in about 30 minutes. Like I said, I'm going to go hit the treadmill as this replay renders, and then I'll post it on here. Okay. So like I said, guys, if you don't know by now you want to be a Full Throttle member, you're probably just, you might be taking up space, and, I wish you all the best. Otherwise, grab your slot. Thank you, Mark, but you're so worth it. I appreciate it. Paul, thanks for a great session. See you tonight with Raytheon. You got it. Fish, you're getting better like fine wine. Harry, best money ever spent. Thank you, guys. And let me just show you some of these comments. So, guys, if you haven't gotten your session yet, this is where you need to be. Guy, I like your system better. We wish we had a better internet. Yeah. Awesome. Good. Dan, you're generous to a fault. I think there's a compliment in there, Dan, and you're right. I appreciate that. It's a little, I think we give a little too much away, but again, I'm a giver, and I'm not a bigot. So we'll see you, Jackie. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. I'll see you tonight for Raytheon long call diagonal training. That's going to be fun. And like I said, maybe this will be the second time in our history we get all 50 before tonight. That would be really cool. If we don't, we'll definitely be full by Friday. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your day. God bless, and I'll see you tonight at 7 o'clock.